나의 뉴스로 평화를 가져온다. 네, 도날시아사 기자님. 안녕하세요. 도날드입니다. 안녕하세요. 예, 안녕하세요. 기자님께서는 월남전 이제 베트남 전쟁을 생방송을 통해 취재하신 분으로 알려져 계신데 이제 어떻게 취재를 나가게 되셨습니까? When I was young, I worked as a CBS reporter, and many countries of the world was at a state of tension in the time, as you know, between the South Vietnam government and that of North Vietnam. America supported the South Vietnam government because it is the country which possesses a slogan of democracy, followed by the Cold War system by Truman Doctrine, with powerful military strength. But because the resistance of North Vietnam was so intense, the war was prolonged, especially in 1965, after the Gulf of Tonkin incidents that we now ashamed. The attacks between both party was getting more and more intense.
This is the Maddox, one of the two destroyers that were attacked while patrolling international waters in the Gulf of Tonkin near North Vietnam.
Anyway, in the process, because of the Tet Offensive, which was generated in 1968, some of the American broadcast stations went to Vietnam to collect news, and so did we. Because I was really sorry for the situation and really wanted to speak the real situation to people, so I volunteered and went to collect news. 위험하셨을 수도 있을 텐데. It was nothing compared to them. 이야, 대단하십니다. 대단하십니다. 그런데 이제 68년 구정대 공세 당시의 상황은 미국인들의 예상과는 많이 달랐다고 하던데 이게 무슨 일입니까? Americans in those times didn't know well about the country Vietnam and thought their country that has the greatest military power would beat them easily. Of course, it was a great victory of America, but the reality was different. It's because the first floor of U.S. Embassy was occupied by the Vietcongs. After the scene was broadcasted by many broadcast stations, including us, the whole nation was shocked because we didn't know that the great America could get attacked. There was a military victory, but there was no political victory. 이게 그래서 충격적이었던 거군요. 이게 군사적으로는 이겼지만 정치적으로는 진 거니까. That's right, but that's not all. It was not the only thing that seen in the television. It's a rudimentary thing. The people in pain. Bombing, shooting. It was broadcasted live that numerous civilians who don't have any fault was dying. Not only civilians, but also the soldiers of each country, all of them. Think. It is enough to generate an anti-war movement that their friends, lovers, fathers or sons got killed vividly. There were many reasons. 5 we know reason: evasion of conscription by the young, President Nixon's new appointment in 1969, and finally, the picture in problem.
저게 뭐죠?
The man who can see in the left side and have a gun is the general of South Vietnam, and the man who can see in the right and looks like a civilian is the North Vietnam person. Americans in those times awfully resented after saw the pictures by an article, said like the general of South Vietnam killed a civilian, and started to yell the anti-war explosively. Only in Washington D.C. over the 500,000 people participated in the anti-war demo.
아무 잘못 없는 민간인까지.
No, he was not a civilian.
네? 네? 그게 무슨...
He was Vietcong, tortured and did carnage in numerous South Vietnam people. He just wore civilian clothes to hide his position. It's irony. It's irony. Even though the article generated the anti-war demo, the general had to get pestered with too many criticism because of the very article that didn't definite any correct situations. Despite it was just his duty. It's irony. Independent of the outcome, the press, the media should not do like that.
말씀해주신 대로 여러 가지 일이 있었는데 이런 반전 시위를 통해 이제 어떻게 전쟁이 종식되게 된 겁니까?
After Nixon appointed, he reduced the force sending gradually because of the adding up of the anti-war movements and financial burdens and damage of human life. So the Paris Peace Conference was concluded in 1973.
Unsurpassed police security precautions mark the opening of the peace conference in Paris, where the delegates of 21 nations have assembled to frame the future peace of the world. Somehow this historic hall of glass, where the reparations conference of the 1914-18 war was held, is a delicate place for the verbal brickbats which many expect to be tossed about during the conference.
기자님 정말 어떻게 보면 전쟁 영웅이신 것 같습니다.
예.
벌써 마지막 질문입니다. 혹시 한 기자로, 방송인으로 일하셨던 분으로서 이제 우리 후배들에게 하고 싶은 말씀 없으십니까?
If there is just one thing to be a broadcaster, can I say two?
아이 기자님 뭘 또 허락까지. 아이 기자님, it's okay.
Then I'll tell you the two things. First is the truth. Media should not lie. The moment we lie is the moment we end. And second is the good influence. What I think as a ultimate object of media is teaching people correctly and make them behave properly, making good and making right public opinion. When you keep these two things, you can say you are a true media worker at last. Thank you.